Hi, my tubies, my TikToker, SheilaTruelove. I went to church today and I had such an amazing time. I met with some of the most incredible people, and the pastor, you could tell that this man was speaking from his heart. I went with my ex husband, and it was just so beautiful. And everything that this pastor said, it was genuine, sincere, and you can actually feel it. And everything he said, he had scriptures to back it up. And I really enjoyed myself. I usually go to church with my ex-husband the second Sunday once a month, and I really enjoyed it. Anyway, I want to share some words of wisdom with you right now because this is so important. And I think this is five things that ladies need to know and they need to really take to heart and take seriously. Hold on. Hold on, my darlings. Here we go.
Ladies, here are 5 things you must never do for love. You may want to save this video as a reminder for later and pass this to someone who needs it. Number 1, don't beg a man for affection, attention, and love like a slave. Number 2, don't allow a man to provide for you financially. Make your own money. Remember, he who feeds you can also starve you. Number 3, don't stay with a man who does not prioritize you. A man who doesn't call, text, or spend time with you. Number 4, don't stay with a man who disrespects you by hanging out with useless women who he calls his friends. He is an idiot. Number 5, don't stay with a stingy bastard who doesn't share his resources with you. Don't stay with a broken man. He's a treacherous bastard who will betray. Drop a 100 if you agree with me.
I really appreciated number 2, what he said. Let's listen to each one again and let's discuss it.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Ladies, here are 5 things you must never do for love. You may want to save this video as a reminder for later and pass this to someone who needs it. Number 1, don't beg a man for affection, attention, and love like a slave. Number 2,
don't beg a man for love, attention, and love like a slave. Why should you have to beg a person? Anytime you have to beg a man for love and attention, it's obvious. Like, what is that divorce court lady? Don't let a man have to tell you twice that he don't want you. He's not really interested in you. I forget the judge's name. She's like one of my favorites. Anyway, it escapes me at the moment. The one with the short hair, she looks really great. Yeah, you should never have to beg a man for attention and for love and affection like a slave. I agree.
Don't allow a man to provide for you financially. Make your own money. Remember, he who feeds you can also starve you. Number 3.
Oh, God, I agree with that. How many times did I tell my girls I'm a 50-50 type of girl? Don't sit around here and depend on a man for his money and letting him take care of you financially. But I like the way he put it. He who has the power to feed you also have the power to starve you. He who has the power to keep a roof over your head because he's paying all the bills, he also has the power to make you homeless, you and your children. Okay? And I don't care if your name is on the lease. If you're used to him pay or the mortgage, he pick up and he just bounce like a lot of these runaway husbands have done. You left paying the bills. But what? You a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home mother. You ain't got no money. He has all the power. And I'm so happy that this very wise gentleman here, he agrees with me. Don't you ever depend on no man financially. Ever.
Don't stay with a man who does not prioritize you. A man who doesn't call, text, or spend time with you. Number 4.
Okay, a man who don't prioritize you. He don't text. I don't need all the calling and the texting, because I don't like people suffocating me or smothering me. I don't really need all of that. But there's a lot of women who require that. If he prioritize, I prefer he prioritize his mother, because the way I see him treat his mother, that's an excellent indication of how he would treat me gradually. Now, I know the Bible says that a man will leave his mother and father and he will be with his wife. But the Bible also says, see, that's an instruction. But a command is to honor your parents. And that means to treat them with very high value. So to put your mother or your parents on the back burner, for me, I'm not a happy camper with that. No. Because if you want things to go well for you, you better respect and honor your parents.
Don't stay with a man who disrespects you by hanging out with useless women who he calls his friends. He is an idiot. Number 5.
A man who sits around here and say, oh, she's just a friend. If you're a married man or you're in a relationship, your girlfriends are now supposed to be my friends. And I'm talking about friends to the point where I'm going to the mall with her. Her and I, we hanging out at the movies. We on the phone talking to each other. We're all friends now. Because I don't agree that you should have to give up your male friends or your female friends, especially when you have a history with them. Like, I've had friends that I've had in my life for like a long time, and friends who have been there for me, male friends who have risen to the occasion and had my back. Now, just because I'm in a relationship, I'm supposed to throw them away? That's not going to happen. Just like when I got married to my second husband, I had my fiance, my ex-fiance, they got together, because I wasn't going to let go of my ex-fiance, Gregory Elliott, because he taught me so much, he did so much for me. He was just this amazing dude. We was just better off as friends, better than partners, romantic partners. And sometimes it just works that way. I'm the same way with my kid's father. We're better off as, apart than married. And my second husband, we're better off as buddy, as my activity buddy, or my church buddy, more like my church buddy, than we are being married. One, I realized something. Marriage is not for me. I am not a child, so when it comes to be submissive, that's the same as saying be obedient. I like my own space. I need my own space. I love freedom. I'm a very independent person. I also love peace. And when you're married, you could kiss peace goodbye. People can say, oh, I got to get married. Yeah, whatever, child. The only way people have peace in their marriage is if they work different shifts, or like Joyce Myers, she has 2 weeks on with her husband and 2 weeks she's at a hotel. So if I could do 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off, hell yeah, I'll stay married for 100 years. They have this new thing called living together but living apart, being married but you living apart. It's this new craze that's coming out, which I love the idea. I think it's wise because people need a break. And I don't like anyone constantly calling me unless it's something important, just to hear your voice, just to say I love you. Please don't do that. It's so aggravating to me. And constantly texting me with nonsense. I am not that type of girl. Some women are, they like that kind of thing. To me, that's very suffocating. It's very needy. It's very, it's like, no, that just irritates the hell out of me. Especially if I'm going to see you later on in the day, or I'm going to see you later on in the week. What's the point of all of this constantly calling and constantly texting? I have things to do. So I try to associate myself with people who are as busy as I am, because normally when people don't have a lot on their plate, they have nothing but all this free time and they're annoying. That's just my take. Because some people like all of that, all on top of me and all of this. No, not me. I'm not her.
Don't stay with a stingy bastard who doesn't share his resources with you. Don't stay with a broken man. He's a treacherous bastard who will betray. Drop a 100.
What, child? You got 100. Don't stay with no cheap dude, a man who's stingy and cheap. That turns me off too. That's a huge turn off. Anytime you dealing with a dude who don't want to share his resources with you, he's crying about every single dollar that he spends. Yeah, that to me is very annoying, and it's a turn off. And it causes me to lose a lot of respect. And I'm not a woman who, I believe in 50-50. So you see where I am with that. I'm not this materialistic girl who believes that men are supposed to pay for everything. He's supposed to pay all your bills. If he don't, he's not a husband, he's a roommate. I don't believe in none of that nonsense. At the same time, when it comes to being cheap and stingy, let me tell you why that turns me off. Because show me where a man spends his money freely, loosely, and I'll show you what's important to him. I'll show you what's valuable to him, and I'll show you what he loves. So anytime you got a dude who's cheap and stingy and miserly, he don't really care about you, sweetheart. He really don't. But anyway, that's it. I wanted to share those very, very wise words. And it's always good when you hear it from our older ones, you know, as long as it's not, I don't listen too much to older people in their marriage and how they kept their marriage together, because the way they kept their marriage together way back when was because women were putting up with abuse. Women were floor mats back then, you know. You know, I went to church today and I met this married couple, my ex-husband's church that I went to, because I go second Sunday of every month with him to church. And I met this couple, you know, they were married 44 years. You have to see the way this man speaks of this woman. He talks about, I'm buying my wife a house. I've had several houses. What I do is when my wife wants something, I do everything I can to make her happy. I was like, where are you from? What planet? It damn sure ain't Earth. He said, well, to be honest with you, I'm an angel. I said, that sounds believable, because that's damn sure not human. But this man was amazing. I really enjoyed him and his wife. Today, I admired them incredibly. And they seemed to be very happy. We got stopped at the chicken joint because she said it's Sunday, I don't feel like cooking. He don't pressure her. It's just a beautiful marriage. Or so it seems. You know what I mean? And when I see a beautiful marriage, a couple like that, and why is it beautiful? What God has joined together, let no one pull apart. Now, they've been through their changes, their ups and downs. But when God is in your marriage, honey, you can't help but win. You can't help but win. The people at that church were so friendly, so loving. And you know what made them so beautiful is that they were all humble. They were all humble. Anyway, I had a great day today, and I wanted to share those words of wisdom with you also, my darlings. I love you.